Hello, this is Rod McNair with a Tomorrow's World webcast. China and 5 other nations lay claim to parts of the Spratly Islands, a cluster of small islands in the South China Sea. These overlapping claims have caused conflict between some of these nations for decades, but tensions have been rising over the past few years. Recently, the government of the Philippines sued China for infringing on its territorial rights in this area. On Wednesday, July 13, 2016, it was reported that the tribunal at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, Netherlands, ruled overwhelmingly in favor of the Philippines. What that means is that China's historic claim to disputed parts of the South China Sea were invalidated. The court also ruled that China cannot claim some of these broad zones for exclusive economic use. What's happening in the South China Sea is very interesting, especially if we want to understand the news in relation to Bible prophecy. The Philippines has strong ties to the United States. In 2014, Manila and Washington agreed to the return of U.S. armed forces to the Philippines after an absence of 2 decades. In 2016, this year, the U.S. and the Philippines began implementing joint defense plans, including the stationing of U.S. warplanes on Philippine soil. China does not see this lawsuit and verdict as originating from Manila or even from The Hague. No, they see it as American meddling in the region from behind the scenes. And accordingly, China has flatly refused to acknowledge this ruling. In other words, what we're seeing is a resurgent China, no longer accepting American dominance in the region. We're seeing a China growing in power, seeking to establish itself as the big kid on the block, so to speak, on par with the United States. What does the future hold in this region? Bible prophecy shows that end-time Israel, which we on Tomorrow's World understand to include the United States, would have dominance in what we might call sea gates around the world. What are sea gates? Sea gates are simply important areas of the ocean where global commerce needs the free flow of shipping traffic. Whoever controls these areas controls the global economy. And these strategic areas get even more important in time of war for moving troops and equipment around the world. Why is this important? Because there's an ancient prophecy which points to these strategic choke points. It was given when Rebekah was to marry Abraham's son Isaac. And it's very surprising if you haven't heard this before. Here's what it says in Genesis 24 and verse 60. And they blessed Rebekah, and they said to her, "Our sister, may you become the mother of thousands of 10,000s, and may your descendants possess the gates of those who hate them." First, Great Britain and then the United States have possessed these vital naval choke points around the world. The South China Sea is one of these important shipping lanes. God gave end-time Israel power to dominate the seas so that these nations, such as Great Britain and the United States, would grow and reap the blessings promised to the patriarch Abraham. But because of America's sins, America has lost and will continue to lose sea gates. The balance of power is shifting. The British Empire no longer controls great swaths of the ocean, and the United States is in jeopardy of losing that dominance as well. Notice this other prophecy of what would happen because of end-time Israel's sins. It's found in Leviticus 26 and verse 17. "I will set my face against you, and you shall be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you shall reign over you, and you shall flee when no one pursues you." As the United States continues its moral slide, America will have fewer and fewer victories on the battlefield and in the diplomatic realm as well. And America will lose control of vital shipping lanes. China is not going away. China is on the rise. Other powers in Europe are on the rise as well, while America is in decline. Watch the South China Sea and watch other strategic choke points around the globe. You'll see these prophecies come alive and this end-time drama play out. For other booklets, articles, and materials that will help you study God's Word and understand the news in your headlines, go to tomorrowsworld.org or to facebook.com/tomorrowsworld.